Obviously feel good, but obviously we still got a lot of work to do to finish off the job. But I think that team's pretty well battle tested. We've been in a lot of close matches. Conference tournament had a lot of close matches. It was like Sam Houston. Here we had a close match with North Carolina A&T. The first match with them was real close. In fact, I mean, it went to 7 games or whatever, the best 4 out of 7, and Brooklyn had to throw 2 strikes in the 10th to lock them out, and she got them. So, you know, having those types of pressure elements, I think plays a big key factor going into the championship, because those things are going to happen because all the teams are really good. So, and if all the teams are really good and they play to their abilities, matches are going to be close. I mean, that's just the element of it. And bowling's going to have a lot of swings, and you know, people don't understand sometimes the aspect of how bowling is, but there's a lot of swings. I mean, you can ask some people that came with us to the championship that heard some background of having a heart attack.
Well, and just being able to handle that pressure, you know, and players talk about how they've been able to handle adversity and whatnot. Just how important has that been for this group, and just how have you seen them, you know, be able to handle that, especially over the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like that's the part that, you know, one of the things is you can't implement pressure. You know what I mean? Like, you can try a little bit, like we'll do a little drill where people are screaming real loud and stuff like that, and we call it the tunnel and stuff like that, but you can't implement the situation at hand. So you just have to go through it, and you have to be willing to understand that those nerves, everybody's human, so everybody has some form of nervous system that has nerves, and you have to channel that energy into positive energy. And if you make that into a positive energy, you can actually make better shots than you were when you'd be calm. But the whole key is channeling that energy the right way, because nervousness is a form of energy, and you just have to channel it the right way, and you'll make actually better shots than you would be even if you're just calm and at regular practice.
Pretty wide open with the top 4 seeds going to Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, every team's good. Haven't been that much difference. I mean, obviously, McKendree was ranked number 1 most of the year, but I mean, the 2 times that we faced them head-to-head, we beat them both times. We have a winning record against Nebraska, and I believe our record either Vandy's either tied or we have a winning record. I can't remember, but I mean, the bottom line is you know, the teams are all really close, and you know, it's just not that much difference in the discrepancy of talent. I mean, if you want to win, you're going to have to make better shots than your opponent, and you also got to know that your opponent's going to come after you, because all the teams are really good.
Any surprise that it worked out this way, where it's the top 4?
No, I mean, obviously there were. The one thing I would say is a surprise is in bowling there is a lot of still kind of like a luck factor when you're playing in these matches, and being as, even though a mega match can go for 4.5 hours, but like bowling, it's a little bit better way to determine who's best if you play a little bit more like golf and add them all up instead of head-to-head, but we play head-to-head. So that allows for a little more luck factor. So, you know, you would think that sometimes it's not going to go chalk and all be number 1 seeds, but it doesn't surprise me because the teams are good. But there are a lot of teams that are, you know, the 5 through 8, 9, 10 teams in the country can definitely beat the top teams. So,
you know, obviously you're no stranger to the NCAA tournament, but I know that, you know, bowling's had, you know, a couple changes of the format here and there. Just when it comes to this format, you know, do you think this, you know, kind of benefits the group?
Yeah, I mean, I always want to play longer, and that's just what I was talking about with the golf part of it. But so the mega match is longer. Now, when you get to the TV show, it's not a mega match at that point. It's a best 4 out of 7. But I would rather always play longer, and if the team beats me playing longer, or, you know, beats us, I should say, because I wasn't talking about myself actually, but I mean just beats us, it's one of those things where you know you lost because they just made better shots than you. You know, if you're playing, the shorter you play, and like I said, the best 4 out of 7 on TV is pretty short. I mean, obviously it's one of those things that they're doing, it's done for TV purposes, but you know, I would rather play longer, and I'm glad that it's mega matches.
Is this the toughest Final Four you've seen?
Ooh. Yeah, probably. You know, I mean, when you just take into account everybody who got there. But, I mean, in 2021 when we made it or whatever, I mean, Youngstown was the one kind of lower. I wouldn't even say they were the last seed in, but they were still really, really good, and I would have told you that they were underseeded. So, but for us, when I've been in a Final Four aspect, is probably the toughest. I mean, like I said, it was all the number 1 seeds.
And what would winning the national championship mean in this program?
I think that it would mean a lot because it would be the first Division I national championship ever at Arkansas State. I think it would be something that people in town, you know, Jonesboro is a college town and a well-knit community. I think there would be a lot of people in town that even though follow bowling, but maybe at that point would actually talk about a lot of the people, and you know, a lot of the girls would go down in history. You know.
It feels really great, and I think the quick turnaround is actually better for us. You know, we just hopped off a plane, hopped back on a plane, and get back to bowling.
How pleased were you with the way you played and the team performed, Friday, Saturday?
I was really pleased with the weekend. I think that we all did a really good job of picking each other up when some people were down, others were doing better, you know, vice versa. I was really proud of how the team came together in the best of 7 on the first day to keep us in the winners bracket. I think that was really important to get that extra rest. But I was just really happy with how everybody came together and the energy, and I think we're all excited to keep going.
What stands out to you the most just about this group this year?
Honestly, I'd have to say the fight. You know, there's been a lot of times that we're down 3-1 and we come back to win the 3, you know, and this team does a really good job at just never giving up and never showing that we're down by that much. You know, we'd come back that last game and you'd think that we've been leading the entire tournament the whole time. So I think that this team has more fight than teams in the past.
And you kind of use a cliche, it does seem like this group is kind of clicking at the right time, which is, what you want to see. But just, how have you seen this team just kind of come together, over the past couple of weeks here?
Yeah, I think we've definitely progressed from the beginning of the year, especially then the last couple of weeks. It's just really come together, and I think that we've kept the momentum going in every event, and we want to keep it going for one more weekend.
Any pressure in that Friday at 7, I guess that last game?
Yeah, there's definitely some pressure there. You know, you want to stay in the winners bracket. You don't want to have to wake up the next morning. So there's definitely some pressure there, but everybody did a really good job of making shots when they needed them, and then it makes it easy when you get up there to make your shot too.
Any surprise that it's the top 4 seeds in the tournament that are going to Las Vegas?
Yeah, not a huge surprise there. You know, I told Coach last week that I'd rather see all the top 4 teams be there than have a fluke team get in, so I'm excited to see us all compete.
It was really exciting. I think that we've worked really hard to get where we're at, so it's really nice to see the hard work finally paying off in the postseason.
When it comes to this group, what stands out to you the most just about, the team and how, together they are at this point in the year?
I think that what really stands out is how far we've come. I think it was kind of like a rough start a little bit, but we've really worked hard and come together, and just our grit and determination as a team is really impressive.
Now, how have you seen this team? You mentioned just some of the adversities that you faced kind of at the beginning of the season. Just, what were those, and just how have you seen the team kind of overcome that, especially at this point of the year?
Well, I think in the beginning it's always hard because you have new people coming in, and then you have the seniors and people that have been here for a while. So just meshing all of those personalities together and learning to really come together as a team, because it is really hard since only 5 people get to bowl and everything like that. So I think that it just really helped when we started to bond, and a lot of team bonding. So yeah.
I guess you've seen all the competition that you're going to see this week. Just your thoughts on the field that you're going to face out in Vegas.
I think it's a very talented field. We've obviously bowled these teams a lot, and we have won and lost against these teams. So I think it's going to be very humbling and a very cool experience for us to get to compete against the best teams in the country.